The bullish case for BNB Binance coin is likely to go over $1,000 at some point in 2022. So we are following it day by day, and today is day 4. We're breaking down the intricacies of Elliott wave and Fibonacci, and we're looking like we're coming towards over wave 4 before we're going to get one more move to the downside. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed, it's just highly probable. So it's going to be documented to the T. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If you don't know me by now, my name is Jiggy. I'm the award-winning author of The Extraordinary New Venture Capital Opportunity, How to Invest Like a Pro. Been featured in the best-selling book, High Probability Trading Strategies, back in 2008, where I only used to focus on currencies, but now exclusive on cryptocurrency. So let's dive straight in. So with Binance Coin, been following it day by day, and just a quick update on the macro thesis, the macro thinking is we're saying looks like an A, B, C macro correction, and we should see an all-time new high being made. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed, just highly probable. But we are focused on this bit here, the intricacies on this part here, to really see if we can really pinpoint, we won't get the absolute low, but close to the low, what's highly probable, and what can we use as a signal before entering, because a lot of people enter too soon to the market, and we don't want to enter too soon. So let's just go now to our live chart with BNB. So what we see now, I'm just going to zoom in a bit more. Let's actually get rid of the momentum indicator for a while, and I'm just going to zoom in a bit more here and a bit more here. So again, because we're following this day by day, there's not that much more data other than the fact that we're looking at this. It looks like an A, B, C of a wave 4 to get one more move to the downside. But do you see any particular pattern on this part of the market which can help us? Well, if you're not getting familiar with Elliott waves, wave C's, which is this final part here, this part here, typically break down into 5 waves. They don't always represent themselves and show themselves clearly, especially on a daily chart when we're kind of zooming in. But here we see a relatively clear, what looks like a 1, 2, potential 3, 4, and a 5. So we can use this information, like literally use this information to help us. So first, let's just articulate that on the chart. We've got a 1, what looks like a 2, 3, 4, and a potential wave 5 forming. I like to put a question mark, right? Especially when we're coming towards the end, just to remind ourselves that we don't know. So probabilities, never certainties, right? So we've got a big question mark over here. But what will be the first signal that we've got the top of the wave 4 being made? Well, it's the price going below the former swing low. So if we just pop this over here, and let's just go down here. So if price goes below this low over here, that'll be the first signal. Now, if the price goes below here, that'll be the confirmation, but this will be the signal, right? We can use the signal to enter trades, and we use the confirmations for just confirmation, right? So we got this low over here. This is quite far away from the market. Now, keep in mind, because if you pull up candles, you'll see the intraday data. And the reason I use closing data is it gets rid of this noise. So we can see that we tag this high over here. But for the daily chart, we'll just keep it with the closing data. So what are we looking at over here now? So we're still not doing any position. You can short this, but what is the short side potential? Like probability-wise, right? Anything can happen, but probability-wise. Well, the weekly momentum, if you watched yesterday's video, is pointing up. So ideally, we want to trade in the direction of the higher time frame. The higher time frame is up, right? The weekly momentum is up. So now we want to be patient and wait for the daily momentum to also be up, right? That in itself will massively increase the odds of your success. But now let's also look at, again, we haven't got this confirmation yet, this signal, but let's just say the price does hold over here, give or take, and it does break this low over here. What will be the typical price? Well, the first thing that we'll do, I think I'm doing it a bit early, but we'll do it again once it's confirmed, is we want the external retracement. External retracement, which is most common, is 1.618 and 1.272. This is the range that we would anticipate this price to go to. Again, now we're just going to be patient. It's really over here, if being the operative word, the price does go into this zone. Then, if I now zoom out, And you get to see the macro picture, how this really fits into the bigger degree picture, and gives us context on the mass psychology, on the psychological mood of the buying and selling behavior, is we could be coming towards the end of this, what looks like a nice A, B, and a potential some type of C pattern over here, which is breaking down the final sequence as a 1, 2, 3. Well, looks like a 4, not confirmed yet, and we should anticipate one more move to the downside. If that occurs, the momentum, the daily momentum, is also giving us that same information to say, look, it looks like a daily top should be assumed, and that's what we were referring to as a local wave 4. Wait for 2-3 days for the momentum to go to the oversold zone, which is down here. If that occurs and everything still holds, then we got momentum on 2 degrees. We got the weekly pointing up, and then the daily would be pointing up. There'll be 2 degrees of momentum indicators, which is measuring the rate of change. We're going to have pattern, so it's going to be coming up to a wave 5 of a C over 2. So that's the part that we're looking to form. That's not formed yet. You could do a short-term short trade right now, but you can see the downside is just this tiny part here, right? You can, if that's your thing, you could do that, or you could be patient and wait for the higher degree time frame and the lower degree time frame to marry up for a potential massive swing to the upside. Yeah, and that's what I look for. The big money's made in the big moves. So then we got price. All right, so if I just zoom back in over here, there's a few different factors, but we're just focusing over here right now. We're saying price for the wave 4. We're in that zone over here, but this is the typical end of wave 5 zone. If the price breaks below this wave B down here, then we'll do a few other things that we can really start to pinpoint and get ready for an end of a major potential wave 5 over C over 2. And then we'll look for long signals in terms of buying opportunities, minimal risk, how we can have acceptable capital exposure before we look to take any long trades. So if you want to learn, and kind of, because I'm doing this day by day, right? Today's day 4 of following BNB, Binance coin, and we're just getting one new day worth of information and seeing what's happening right now. And we'll just follow it. It'll probably be another 4 or 5 days before we get even into this zone. So we're just going to be patient with this, very, very patient. Because often people are trading junkies, right? They need to be in the market, where you got 3 positions. You can be long, you can be short, or you can stand aside. Here for this position, if you're going for the bigger swings and being in the direction of the larger degree weekly time frame, here is now stand aside, right? The market's against us. The daily's pointing down, the wave count is pointing down, everything is pointing down. So it's like, okay, nothing to do here other than be patient. You could set some price alerts for, if the price got into this zone over here to relook at the market. But if you want to learn how to do Elliott wave counts, count to 5 in terms of price, and then the Fibonacci ratios, take my free Elliott wave and Fibonacci masterclass. Is in the link below, and I cover the 3 key rules that we're literally using right now. One of which is, I'm going to show you this. It's not that relevant, but it's good to know that this wave 4 not only is the typical in these ranges, we know a wave 4 should not trade into the range of a wave 1. If it did do that, it invalidates the wave count, and then we need to review the market to go, oh, actually, maybe the psychology is slightly different than what we anticipated. But right now, it looks like it's all hanging together. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's finish on a quote. It's one of my favorites. It's chapter 2. Actually, I thought it was chapter 3. I thought it was chapter 5. Actually, I'm going with chapter 5. I'm going to go to chapter 5 today. I think it's chapter 5. There we go, chapter 5. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. That's Leonardo da Vinci. Simplicity. Sometimes it's difficult to get sophisticated things to be incredibly simple. And it's one of the reasons I like to not clutter my charts too much with every indicator under the sun, because there's thousands of them, tons of moving averages. You got all types of support and resistance line, different kind of patterns. I just like 2 degrees of momentum, pattern, ideally on 2 degrees. We got 3 or 4 degrees right now, but at least 2 degrees in terms of Binance coin. And then Fibonacci ratios. What's the Fibonacci relationship with one wave to the other? So we're looking at wave 4. If that gets a bit of a signal and a confirmation, then we can start projecting in advance wave 5. But we can see the relationship between wave 4 and wave 5 the relationship between wave 1 to 3 and wave 5, and we'll be able to project in advance. And that's what I cover in the masterclass, just some of those key ratios that you want to be aware of that do display themselves time and time again. And it doesn't mean it's going to be right all the time, because you're looking to be right around 1/3 to half. You know, if you had 10 trades, if you got a third of them and you got to ride the trend, and the others you either took a small profit, you broke even, or you took a small loss, you're going to have a very profitable trading portfolio. And that's the whole idea, that you get the edge in your favor and then you play that edge again and again and again. It's like playing tennis, and you just play the high probability shots, and the higher your skill, the more you kind of fine-tuned you can do with your strategies. So if you like today's content, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Tune in tomorrow, because we're going to do day 5 of following BNB day by day. Will it drop and start to make a wave 5? We don't know. But that's what the technical indicators are telling us: the momentum, the pattern, the price. And there's a few other things that we can look at, but that for now is more than sufficient for what we're doing over here. All right, see you tomorrow and have a good day. See you soon.